Social Development Director General Peter Netshipale will, of course, be speaking to us about this matter in a short while. So do wait for that interview to respond to some of the allegations that Ms. Lumka Oliphant has made when she spoke to us last night. I believe we do have him on the line now. Social Development Director General Peter Netshipale. A very good afternoon to you, sir. Thanks very much for your time. Ms. Lumka Oliphant says this is all about the Sunday Times article that she's being accused of leaking the information to the newspaper.
No, good afternoon, Vuyo Mvoko and the newsroom listeners. I saw the article when she was saying it. From where I sit as a DG of the Department of Social Development, Lumka was suspended professionally on the allegations of potential misconduct against the mismanagement of the IJS account in the department. And this is a precautionary suspension. We haven't found her guilty, and we are not saying she's guilty, but as a norm, and in the public service, if you look at the public service, you will see that the approach that is there is that the SMS handbook, clause 2.7.2, make reference that, especially chapter 7 of the SMS handbook, that we can suspend a senior manager in the public service. And this is one of the actions that we have taken. We have not taken any action based on the Sunday Times leaks.
Okay, when was she suspended?
Yesterday afternoon.
And when did you discover that she may have done some wrong?
This is part and parcel of the department looking at what we need to do with the audit findings that the AG raises each year. You remember that each year we will have findings. This year findings, the majority of them is about grants. But few of those that we have, they flagged out the IJS account that we have in the department. And as part and parcel of us doing consequence management and also ensuring that we deal with issues that are there. When we have identified that there's a challenge, what do? You suspend an official, then you investigate to check what is going on in this account, and then the findings of the investigation will determine whether she's guilty or not guilty. This is the provision in terms of the law.
Now, if she has been suspended for the IJS account and the Auditor General report had negative findings against grants as well, have you suspended whoever is responsible for the grants?
No. With the grants, you wouldn't suspend any because it's the findings with regard to how some certain issues were not happening in terms of them. It's much more broader. But we are looking at how we will need to deal with that matter from the SASSA point of view. Here in the department, there's IJS, which has got adverse finding on that IJS account. Any account, I think she will also know that this is not the first time. In the previous 2 years, we had 14 members that are still going hearings once the investigation has been conducted.
But this time around, she is the only one who has been suspended.
We are not sure. As you go deeper into remember it goes with seniority. Lumka Oliphant, Miss Oliphant, She's an experienced person. She has been an acting Deputy Director General. When I was appointed to act as a DG, I appointed her as an acting Deputy Director General for a year to act in that position. So when you deal with consequences management, you start at the top and then you go deeper. Should there be any findings where they said employee X have done that, they go to the gallows the same. That's how it works.
If then, with respect to the grants, it was many people may have been involved or it cuts across, then doesn't the finger point at you as well as the a person ultimately in charge and as the chief accounting officer?
No, not really. It doesn't. When there are issues with government and then the findings of HSA, they will identify areas that didn't go well within that account or that transaction, that contract, and then you as the head of the department, the DG, you then identify the most senior person that needs to be taken into, and then you then investigate the matter. Investigation, remember, relates to you do not want, when you start investigating, the person to interfere with witnesses. Who are we going to question? Who are we going to ask questions? You don't do that. So you precautionally say, go and stay at home so that we can investigate fully while you are sitting at home.
Can we assume that you're also doing the same with whoever was ultimately responsible for SASSA or for the Gender-Based Violence Command Center and other units that may have been implicated or against whom there were adverse findings?
Yeah, you look how things work. You always look at the nature of the account and the responsibility thereof.
Now, let's go back then to the Sunday Times story. Talk to us about the 3 million rand New York trip by the minister. Are those figures accurate, and what actually happened? What was that for? What was the trip about?
Yeah, the trip. This is the nature of the story is that each year in March there is that what you call the UN Women gathering, where the UN ensures that every country that is signatory to the statute that is there come over to talk about the issues of women. And you know very well South Africa is a very serious democratic country, and we have done very, very, very well as a country. So the Department of Women, Youth and Persons with Disability, Department of Education, our own Department of Social Development will gather there for a period of 2 weeks. You gather there for a period of 2 weeks. 2 weeks is that you will send people to begin to look at preparatory for the ministers to come over in that. Then the official will go earlier to prepare. When the minister arrives, there's discussions. And this issue, the objective is that how is the country looking after its women and the women empowerment in terms of the poverty, in terms of economic empowerment, in terms of how gender-based violence, substance abuse, and others. So as a country, we have got so much to report. Most of the time when you go there, you become the center of attraction in terms of how we were led in this country into democracy and how we are dealing with. And there's so much interest that on a daily basis, you will talk and everybody will be listening to you. So that involves us sending 7 people to go over there, and at a cost, of course. But the way those costs has been tabulated in the Sunday Times is not correct, completely correct. The report says the newly appointed DDG has spent 1 million. It is not like that, because one of the costing that is listed there, it is not a responsibility to us for transportation since they arrive until. So it is not really well coached. But you will understand, the media will always put it into perspective.
No, but I mean, in a nutshell, though, you're saying 3 million rands for 7 people over 2 weeks is justified.
I'm not saying it's justified, but I think in terms of our own processes, that is something that we have spent. Yes, indeed. Not that is out of line in terms of that, but it's something that is acceptable, that you can spend that under circumstances that we have once per year. And the other thing which was there, it was because, you see, what happens in most of the time when you book things over there, they increases the prices because they know there's a conferences that is coming, and in order to exclude people, in order to exclude us. If you look at the costs even for other departments, they are there. It's more or less the same like other government departments. I'm not condoning it. I saw the article that says we could have built how many RDPs. I understand. Yes, we understand that. But it is not out of order. It's something that we have agreed that it's going to be like that.
Just as a parting shot, would you say there's bad blood between Ms. Lumka, Oliphant, and the minister? And I'm asking this because one of the allegations she makes is that the minister has been ridiculing her work, yet the government communication and information systems put her up there as one of the best performing heads of communication in government.
I wouldn't go there and say there's bad blood between Mrs. Oliphant and the minister. Remember, these issues depend on is how personally you perceive when I, for example, as a DG, and say, hey man, you are not performing in this one, can you perform on this? You will take it the other way around, because this issue in a government department, there will be a point where one will say, hey, Mr. Netshipale, you are not performing. We are talking about the audit just now. I was told, hey, Chief, you must check your socks, because here you lose the ball. Here. So for me, I take it as saying, oh no, I know where I dropped the ball. This is what I'm going to do. So you wouldn't categorically do that, because when we are living and we are working in the public service, if there are things that are not going well, you will be told. If there are things that are doing well, I'll tell her. I used to tell Lumka, she knows that, yeah, you have matured and you're coming well. That's why she even acted for a period of 12 months in the Department of Social Development. So I don't think we should go there, because otherwise then you will live in your own area alone. I don't think that is fair. We need to be able to live together and make sure that we deliver. Wherein you feel there's issues, there's an opportunity to say, hey, can I meet with you? I don't like this way, I don't like it this way. And I think those are some of the things that you will do. And we are all human. We'll be able to deal with that accordingly.
So she's a good performer, and that's why you promoted her.
No, she was just acting. It was not promoted. It was,
well, it was, whichever way you look at it. I mean, if you allow a person to be a DDG, which is such a senior position, second only to yours, yes, it means that you had faith and confidence in her.
True.
Okay. That's where we're going to leave it. Thank you very much, DG. Mr. Peter
Thank you
Netshipale,
very much,
Director General
Will.
of the Department of Social Development.